This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2017 here in Vancouver. I have with me, standing next to me, is Richard Young from Teranga Gold Corporation. It's a publicly traded company and the symbol is TGZ on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley.
Good to have you. Let's get started with an overview on the company, and then we'll go from there.
Terrific. So we produce 200,000 ounces. We are in French West Africa. We have an operating mine that's been in production since 2009. We've got a 14-year mine life as we stand. We expect to begin construction of our second mine also in West Africa in the next month. And then we've got active exploration programs in 3 French West African countries. And we hope to be building our third mine after we finish our second.
It sounds to me like you're an exploration company, a development company, and a production company, all 3. So they feed each other, correct?
Correct. We've got a strong balance sheet. We've got a very strong technical team. And we are building a company for the long term at the bottom of the cycle so that as gold prices rise, we will do very well.
So Richard, why West Africa?
Well, when I was Barrick, there were 4 things that we looked for before entering a jurisdiction. Number 1, there had to be the rule of law, and West Africa has that. Number 2, there needs to be a strong mining law. West Africa has that. Number 3, the government has to be mining friendly. They've got to want us to be there. West Africa has that. Number 4 is the geology, and West Africa has terrific geology.
Tell me more about what goes on in the company and, what's your involvement? Because I know it's not a simple involvement when you're moving into that district.
Well, being in West Africa, you're in an emerging gold district. It's been one of the fastest growing regions for the last quarter century, but it is new to the region. And so we spent a lot of time focused on our CSR efforts. We won awards for that. And we're actively involved as we train and grow the business. We've got a largely Senegalese workforce. We're going to move into Burkina Faso. Again, over 90% of our workforce will be Burkinabes, and that requires extra effort. But it's a great workforce in West Africa, and you can really operate and grow your business in the region.
So what differentiates your company from other companies in the region?
Well, what we try and do from the board, through our chairman, and through senior management is focus on corporate social responsibility. It's all about our stakeholders. Our mission statement is to ensure that the regions in which we operate are better off after we leave than before we came. So that's what our mandate is, that's what our mission is, and we really focus on that. And what that allows us to do is to operate in West Africa and have the support of the governments in the countries that we operate in.
So do you work with the local government and the people to, like, for instance, in some cases you might work with them building schools, etc.?
Yes. So not only do we work with the local, regional, and national governments, we also work with the Canadian government. We work with a number of NGOs in the region, and it's a bottom-up approach. So we had an 18-month consultation with the local and regional community to define what they want, what they need. And all of our programs are designed around that. So it's health and education, it's food security, it's economic activity. So all areas that we focus on, that is what the community wants.
So let's talk about management, if you would. Please give me a sampling of some of the upper management and maybe some of the board.
So we are all from big companies. Our chairman and myself and our CFO are all ex-Barrick. Our chairman built all of Barrick's mines over a 20-year period. I work with him on a number of those as well. And then the rest of the team, our COO was part of the team that built Detour. He had worked for Fording and Suncor, big blue chip companies. Our board, we've got a wonderful board led by our cornerstone investor, David Mimran. He is the largest private employer in 2 of the 3 West African countries we work in. His family's been active there for more than 60 years. We also have an American on our board, Jendai Fraser. She runs our CSR committee, our Corporate Social Responsibility Committee. She was Assistant Secretary of State for Africa under Condoleezza Rice and worked at the NSC before that under Condoleezza Rice. So again, we've got great African experience, African presence, as well. The board's made up of individuals with long histories in the mining space, on legal, technical, and accounting.
So now I'm going to go back to the resource. Let's discuss it. What do let's talk about what you have, where you have it, and how you're going to exploit it and get it into production.
So first and foremost, our flagship operation, Senegal, has 2.7 million ounces. We've got a 14-year mine life. We expect to be able to produce 200,000 ounces for the next decade. That's our cash flowing mature asset. We expect to seek board approval in the next 2 weeks for our second mine in Burkina Faso. We expect that'll produce about 125,000 ounces per year. That'll take production from the low twos to between 3 and 350,000 ounces per year. And we've just announced phase 2 exploration results at our Golden Hill property, also in Burkina Faso, on a very prospective belt, the Houndé belt, that has led to 4 or 5 mines being constructed in the last decade. And we hope that's going to be our third mine. And what really excites us about that target is it's got great grade.
That's my next question. What kind of grade do you have?
Well, the average open pit grade around the world is just under a gram. And our mines are roughly 1.5 grams to 2 grams. And this latest discovery could be 2 to 3 grams or more. So we're very excited about that.
And my last question is land packages.
So what we've been able to do, so what's happened is a number of West African companies got seeded capital, made discoveries, but the market doesn't care today. So we've been able to acquire and accumulate land in this region, very prospective land, and we'll continue to do that as we grow the next mid-tier West African gold company.
Let's get your website out there for our investor audience, if you would.
So our website is terangagold.com, and Teranga stands for welcome in Wolof, which is a local language in the region where our Sabodala mine is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Young, Teranga, welcome, Gold Corporation. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbol is TGZ on the Toronto Stock Exchange. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2017 right here in Vancouver. I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Shelley. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure.